School of Management Studies IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course MMPC-013 Business Law for MBA program. Presenting Block 1 Overview of Business Law. Unit 1 Introduction to Business Law Part 1.
After completing this unit, you should be able to explain the concept of business, understand the objectives, scope, and significance of business law in the present business environment, and describe the various sources through which business law has evolved. Introduction. The occupation of business plays an extremely important role in the economy of any country. The act of engaging in business, which consequently results in the creation of jobs and opportunities, along with the generation of revenues for the economic sector, forms a significant part in nation building. The proliferation of business activities calls for a mechanism to regulate its conduct, and law facilitates this purpose. For strong and productive economies, the need to have an adequately enforced system of equally applied law has been increasingly felt. Law has become an important part of any business activity. A certain framework of law is necessary for maximum incentive to entrepreneurs, investors, and inventors. Business law has taken an important place because it secures the elements of trust and certainty that are vital to economic transactions among strangers. It also includes a study of legal compliances related to any business activity. In this unit, there will be a discussion on the concept of business and the objectives of business law. The unit will help in the understanding of the significance of business law in the present business environment and elaborate on the various sources of business law. The terms business law and business laws are used interchangeably in the text. Business law is a generic or umbrella term which provides legal and regulatory framework for doing business. Business environment in any country is governed by its business laws that are necessary for conducting business transactions and regulate business. Understanding the basics of business laws are extremely important for the students of business management stream to get a firm grasp on the concepts and gaining deeper knowledge of the subject. This unit shall focus on defining the meaning of business, the scope and significance of business law in the current economic scenario, and to acknowledge the different sources of law which contributed in the evolution of business law. Three concepts establish a necessary framework for the most effective functioning of market in the modern nation. They are law, the rule of law, and the property. The forces that hold societies together range from custom and religion to law and economic ties. In the modern nation, however, the most significant of the social forces is law, because law can glue together diverse peoples of different backgrounds into very large organized groups. Law is known by everyone as being intended to tell members of society what they can and cannot do. Law. It is necessary to have preliminary discussion on what is law before students are introduced to business law. The term law has been defined in many ways. It is not easy to give a precise definition of law. It has been defined as rules of human action. A simple definition of law provides that law is a formal social force and is made up of rules which are laid down by the state and are backed by enforcement. Rule of law. Under the rule of law, laws are made generally and equally applicable. They apply to all members of the society and to various groups in the same way. In the words of Secretary General of United Nations, and I quote, "Without confidence based on the rule of law, without trust and transparency, there could be no well-functioning markets." Unquote. Without the rule of law, major economic institutions such as corporations, banks, and trade unions would not function, and the government's many involvements in the economy, that is, regulatory mechanisms, tax systems, customs structure, monetary policy, and the like, would be unfair, inefficient, and opaque. Property. The term property has two meanings: something that is owned and ownership. It is through the law of property that individuals and business organizations can possess, use, and transfer their private resources. The property is a legal fence that keeps others out without your permission. The exclusionary right of property provides a basis for the private market and modern business. Property has been thought of as the central concept underlying Western legal systems. Contract law enables an owner to exchange resources at a future date. Tort law compensates owners whose resources are wrongfully harmed by action of others. Criminal law punishes those who harm an owner's resources in a particular way, and the law of business organizations identifies how individuals can own and use private resources in groups. Meaning of business. A business can be defined as an enterprise or organization involved in an industrial, mercantile, or commercial activity. A business entity may be brought forth for a profit purpose, or it can serve non-profit purposes supporting a charitable or a social cause. A business may also be referred to the activities of an individual or a group of individuals engaged in the sale of goods and provision of services with a profit motive. The term business may be understood as the organized efforts of enterprises to supply consumers with goods and services and to earn profit in the process. Business is a broad term and includes such varied activities as production, promotion, wholesaling, retailing, distribution, transportation, warehousing, financing, insurance, consultancy, and the like. L.R. Dixon has defined business as a form of activity pursued primarily with the object of earning profit for the benefit of those on whose behalf the activity is conducted. Businesses vary in size as measured by the number of employees or by sales volume, etc. But all businesses share one common purpose, that is to earn profits. The purposes of business that goes beyond earning profits are an important institution in society for the supply of goods and services, creating job opportunities, offering better quality of life, contributing to the economic growth of the country, etc. Business law, also commonly known as commercial or mercantile law, is that branch of law that conducts the relationship between the enterprises, companies, and individuals engaged in commercial matters. This section of law governs issues in relation to the legal rights, duties, and liabilities of the entities engaged in business transactions. Business law has attained a significant position in the current era due to the formidable position held by the business enterprises and corporations in contributing to the economy and by the supply of abundant job positions, boosting the employment sector, thereby contributing towards the generation of revenues. Business law consists of the enforceable rules of conduct that govern commercial relationships. In other words, buyers and sellers interact in market exchanges within the rules that indicate the boundaries of legal business behavior. Constitutions, legislatures, regulatory bodies, and courts spell out what market participants may or may not legally do. Understanding business law is necessary for future business people because there simply is no market transaction that occurs outside legal guidelines. All contracts, employment decisions, and payments to a supplier are limited and protected by business law. Each of the 6 functional areas of business, that is, management, production and transportation, marketing, research and development, accounting and finance, and human resource management, sits on a foundation of business law. Business law is a body of legal rules regulating business activities. Business law can also be defined as number 1. Business law is that portion of the legal system which guarantees an orderly conduct of business affairs and the settlement of legitimate disputes in a just manner. And number 2, business law establishes a set of rules and prescribes conduct that enables us to avoid misunderstandings and injury in our business relationships. Business environment. The business environment consists of all those factors or forces which shape the conduct of business. Such factors may be categorized as internal and external factors. Internal factors include factors within the control of any business. External factors, on the other hand, include factors that are beyond the powers or control of any business. Both internal and external factors keep on changing and are dynamic in nature. External factors also include laws, regulations, and policies that affect the conduct of business. Significance of business law. Business law is that branch of the legal system which promotes an orderly treatment of business affairs, facilitates the regulation of commercial activities in accordance with established practices of law, and provides for settlement of disputes in an amicable manner. It constitutes that part of the legal system which is most fundamental to national wealth creation. It also specifies the rules and the conduct that needs to be adhered to for the creation of successful business relationships among the government, business entities, and the public, and business enterprises inter se. Business law also aids in establishing the environment needed for responsible and peaceful business dealings, not just amongst the different enterprises, but also for safeguarding the rights of the employees. Business law also requires understanding and firm grounding of multiple substantive areas of law. Business law has gained significance due to the changing business environment. Business environment is dynamic in nature, and there is a requirement of having adequate laws in place to govern the business organizations functioning in the society. Objectives of business law. We enter into contracts every day. Some of these contracts are made consciously. For example, for the purchase or sale of any goods, purchase of a share of a company, or a plot of land. Entering into contracts determines the legal rights of each party, giving rise to legal obligations as well. People who are engaged in business activities, such as business owners, enter into a contract on a daily basis to further the business transactions. All business activities include a variety of transactions which give rise to contracts on a daily basis. Some of these contracts are as simple as purchasing goods from a shop, thus giving rise to a legal right and legal obligation. Business law serves a variety of purposes, some of which are: number 1, a comprehensive set of standards established universally. Business laws are comprehensive and uniform set of standards that are applicable to all business entities. Uniformity in laws helps in maintaining smooth relations between the businesses and its various stakeholders, including consumers, suppliers, etc. It provides an environment where the businesses can function smoothly and efficiently, as the same rule shall be applicable to all the business organizations falling in a particular category. However, there can be different compliances for different kinds of business organizations depending upon the size, nature of business activity, or certain threshold limits. It also helps in identifying and establishing the rights and liabilities of the various parties interacting with each other. It provides a framework for reducing the harm caused to either party due to fraudulent or unethical activities. Business law also provides for steps that need to be followed while conducting due diligence before engaging with a particular company. Number 2, promoting industrial growth. Business laws not only provides different provisions for compliance for the business but also facilitate industrial growth by protecting and promoting the rights of businesses. Adherence to the rules prescribed by the range of laws falling under the domain of business facilitates businesses to achieve growth and success. Thus, business laws enable capital formation, promote industrial relations, facilitation of licensing, ease of doing business, financial inclusion, etc., which promote economic growth. Number 3, laying down the procedure for the establishment of business. The laws dealing with business provide the necessary framework required for the commencement of a business corporation, along with building of a strong foundation for the business entity to thrive in the market. The formal process provided under the laws also facilitates successful conduct throughout the life cycle of the business. For instance, Companies Act 2013 lays out the steps involved in the incorporation of a company and provisions related to the Articles of Association and the Memorandum of Association in detail. Number 4, enforcement of rights. Business laws provide provisions for judicially enforcing the rights of all parties involved in a business transaction. Thus, the businesses can approach the court to enforce the claims against the debtors, or right to a patent or copyright, or the right to hold property, etc. Businesses also have a right to defend themselves in case actions are filed by the central, state, and local bodies. Thus, businesses have been given the power of initiating legal action in case any legal compliance is breached by any outside party, and also allowed to defend themselves against the litigation filed by the government for the various stakeholders. Various provisions aiding in carrying out the enforcement action have been provided in statutes for effective regulation of the business practices. Number 5, contributes to the building of healthy business relationships. Laws dealing with business matters are extremely significant in the establishment of secure and effective business relationships amongst the concerned entities, as the formation of strong business ties is an absolute must for building a strong economy of a country. For instance, the Partnership Act lists out the rights, duties, and obligations of the partners in a firm for carrying out a successful venture. Business law also plays an extremely important role in facilitating mergers and acquisitions, that is, M&As, between enterprises looking to collaborate and expand their business. Cross-border M&As transactions also contribute immensely to the economy of a country by playing a significant role in increasing the revenues generated through the means of foreign direct investment. cross-border M&A occurs between companies situated in two different jurisdictions. If the resulting company is an Indian company, it qualifies as an inbound merger, and if the resulting company is a foreign company, it is christened as an outbound merger. Number 6. Reduced possibilities of fraud. A robust and effective business law framework helps in reducing the possibility of fraud, as the parties entering into contracts or dealing with each other are well aware of their rights and liabilities, which would prevent them in falling prey to the illegal or fraudulent activities by the other party. The laws associated with business law also provides for a highly effective enforcement mechanism, which are further lined with stringent measures that could minimize the possibility of perpetuating fraud. Number 7. Business laws help maintain equilibrium. Business laws help in bringing about uniformity and maintaining equilibrium, as there are set rules which have to be followed by each entity. Different forms of business organizations are regulated by different laws. This helps in the ease of dealing and conducting business, as the same standards are followed throughout the country. It helps in making the business transactions easier and smoother across the country. Number 8. Ethical conduct. Business laws also help in improving the conduct of the business, as the laws have to be followed in letter and spirit. Therefore, the business organizations have a responsibility of maintaining ethical conduct while functioning in the society. As businesses survive in the society and use its resources, there is a responsibility on the businesses to give back by dealing ethically with all its stakeholders. For instance, the multi-billion-dollar scam orchestrated by the promoters of Satyam Computer Services, also referred to as Satyam Scam, made the regulators across the country re-examine the then existing corporate governance standards and the fallacies therein. The scam resulted in the violation of multiple provisions of various statutes, such as Companies Act 1956, Sections 209, 233 and 628, Securities Contract Regulation Act 1956, Sections 23 Clause A and 23 Clause E, SEBI Act Sections 15 Clause HA and 24, and Criminal Law. Under the Companies Act 1956, the resulting violations included failure to maintain proper books of account, penalty for false statements, and non-compliance of auditor duties. However, after this incident, sweeping changes were brought forth in the Companies Act 2013 to combat any unforeseen deviations that may be resorted by the corporate enterprises. The new Companies Act 2013 mandated at least one-third of the board to be comprised of independent directors, and that they shall not be eligible to receive any stock options and be remunerated only in fee. The new act also imposed strict norms on any related party transactions, along with providing for class action suit options against the company and auditors for protecting minority shareholders' interests. It also brought forth provisions clearly defined, demarcating the accountability of auditors. Number 9. Social responsibility. Business laws also lay down the criteria for business to function in a society, as the business utilize the resources of the society, and there arises a responsibility of the business to give back to the various stakeholders. This enables social justice and social responsibility in the form of good employment practices, non-discrimination, sustainable utilization of resources, prevention of environmental damage, etc. Thus, it prohibits businesses from entering into practices that are harmful to the society at large. Number 10. laying down law in accordance with the evolving standards. The business environment is ever changing and dynamic in nature. The laws have to be enacted taking into account the economic and business environment of the country. These laws not only provide uniformity in business operations but also provide clarity to unforeseen situations. Legislative changes in the form of amendments are made to address the occurrence of unforeseen situations. An example for this would be the Indian Competition Act, which handles and regulates antitrust issues in the country. The Competition Act 2002 is concerned with keeping a check on the prevailing anti-competitive acts in the relevant market being governed. The Act encompasses horizontal and vertical agreements, cases related to abuse of dominance, and regulation of combinations. It must be noted that until now, Competition Act only focused on price parameters such as unreasonable increase in prices or reduced output in the supply of the goods. However, the advent of digital technology has ushered an era demanding a change in the traditional methods employed to gauge anti-competitive practices. The Indian competition regulatory authorities have also initiated investigation into degradation of non-price parameters such as quality, privacy, and innovation, keeping pace with the changing needs of the society in an era of online platform markets. The Competition Commission of India, which until recently investigated anti-competitive conduct solely based on monetary price increase, has acknowledged the importance of data as a currency in the current business scenario and initiated investigation against data monopolies. Number 9. Providing penalties for violation of laws. Business law serves an extremely important purpose of enlisting the various penalties that may be employed by the regulatory bodies to ensure that the conduct of business activities conforms to the prescribed standards set by the concerned branch of law. The legislations dealing with the various aspects of the business have provided the penalties that may be incurred by the wrongdoers on contravention of the law and the rules provided therein. For instance, Chapter 6 under the Competition Act provides for various penalties for contravention of the orders of the Commission or for non-compliance of the directions of the Director General or the Commission. Similarly, Chapter 8 of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code (IBC) provides for punishment of offences, penalties for acts including falsification of books of corporate debtor, false representations to creditors, and transactions for defrauding creditors, etc. And number 12. Insurance against risk. Every business involves inherent risk that may be related to operations of business, movement or transit of goods, and financial risk, etc. Insurance laws provide mechanisms for insuring against such unforeseen circumstances for the business. Directors and officers of the companies can also take D&O insurance policies for protection against future liabilities.
We were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program. Course code MMPC-013 Business Law. Course Coordinator Professor K. Ravi Shankar. Voiceover by Harpreet Kaur. Edited by Savita Rana. Program assisted by Tarannum Jahan and Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.